I was on my way to Florida, and I thought I should stop because I've read a lot of emails. And many people don't really understand the difference between your spirit and your soul. So I thought I should stop and give my thoughts on that and explain it to a point where it can be easily understood. Because many think they're the same thing. Now, those who follow religious texts tends to look at it in a sense of the Trinity, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. But in the original African spirituality, in Kemet and other African locations, this was looked at in an alchemy setting or a mathematical or scientific setting, which goes back to understanding the Trinity being the body, the mind, and the consciousness. This is the original Trinity, which is around hundreds of thousands of years before religion came to be. Now, we all understand what the body is. The body is the vessel that carries the mind and the spirit. Okay, that's an easy one. Now, the difference between spirit and soul, two different things. Your mind is one thing. Your consciousness is the other. You can have a mind, but do you have a soul? Your soul is your consciousness of what you feel and understand, your awareness and your relation between you and the real world. Mind to think and act in a setting of instincts is totally different than a consciousness. A consciousness is deliberate thought. A consciousness is understanding the processes of how you relate and the cause and effect of the laws of nature. Instinct is only the reaction to those laws of nature. This is very important. Many of us talk about our lives and controlling our minds and not really understanding what is your soul. Your spirit is your mind. Your soul is your consciousness in that mind. That is the Trinity. The Trinity being your body, which is the vessel that houses your mind, and your mind that houses your consciousness. This confuses a lot of people. You can have a mind and a body, but have no soul, because you are not aware of how you relate to nature. You are not using your consciousness to relate to you being human on the planet. At that point, you're reacting as a deer. You are reacting as a rabbit being chased by the fox. You are being instinctual. You are reacting. You are not consciously planning. Instinct and habits of instinct is totally different. than having a consciousness and awareness of how you relate and thought process of how you relate to nature. Or how do we relate to one another? This is something to think about. Mind, body, and consciousness is very important.
Well, we come to the end of another session. Thank you for stopping and listening to Do You Have a Soul, Part 1. I appreciate the support and I appreciate the love throughout the diaspora. Please return for Part 2 of Do You Have a Soul? Love, peace, and power. Pharaoh J. Tassetti.